Chapter 1, The Bunker. Looking again at the horizon, Jack said, "We really must find shelter. That weather looks mean." 3 dark clouds were forming just above the ice near the sea. They looked like fists. Looking around, I asked, "What about Invictus?" "What about Invictus?" I asked. Miguel frowned. "Don't know." "Does he know this place?" "I doubt it," said Escher. "We've never brought him here for a visit, and he comes from Kingsland, doesn't he? Where you guys come from?" Escher was looking at me. "I think so," I said. "We only met him at the same time as you did." Everyone looked around, scouring the icy landscape for any sign of Invictus. "We can't wait," said Jax. "It's going to get really messy out here, I can tell. We need to get somewhere safe." "I could wait for him," said Solo. "No way," said Jax. "I'll leave a Physics of Enchantment messenger for him. If he arrives, it'll appear and give him instructions." "A fairy?" asked Max, looking excited. "A hologram," said Jax. "I wouldn't leave a fairy out in a storm. He or she might get hurt." "Or Guy," said Minnow. "Or Guy," said Jax with a smile. Then, pointing to a pile of ice in the distance, she said, "I think this is the way. There are underground bunkers all across the land of ice and fire in case of blizzards." "Blizzards," said Sky, looking sad. "Poor Blizzard." "I know," said Jax, "but we're underway with our search, even though that time storm tried hard to stop us." "It didn't succeed," said Miguel. "Was it sent deliberately?" asked Frank. "What do you think?" asked Jax. "When our cells were all falling to pieces like so many pixels on a computer screen, that's not normal for time travel." "Oh," said Frank, "I thought that was just part of it." "Me too," I said. "No way," said Solo. "Time storms are vicious. They have a good go at trying to ruin people." I shook my head. "Evil is so mean." "Far more cruel than you could ever imagine," said Jax. As we trudged across the ice, I couldn't help wishing that I'd worn more sensible clothes. Even with the hat and coat that Sky had given me, I was still freezing. "Can you wish me up some more scarves and a coat?" I whispered to Sky. "Me too," asked Frank, starting to shiver. "Of course," said Sky. Minnow joined her, handing out blankets as well. "There," said Jax, pointing to a fluoro-orange flag flapping on the top of a metal stake. When we reached it, Jax and I dug our way down through the ice and snow until we reached a trapdoor. We all pulled up on the rope as hard as we could, and the door finally flipped up, revealing a warmly lit bunker underneath. "Brilliant," said Jax. "My great-great-grandparents sponsored these bunkers, and they made sure that the lights would come on as soon as you get near them," said Escher. "That way, even if it's night time or there's a massive storm, there's a glow to go with the fluoro poles." "Excellent," said Solo. We all clambered inside the bunker, glad to have shelter. The storm clouds had just started to belt down massive sheets of sleet and hail. Once we were inside, Jax waved her hands and sealed the trapdoor. "Okay," she said. "I think we need some food, don't you?" We all agreed. Between the magic of Jax, Max and Miguel, we were soon dining on the best of fine foods. After we finished eating, there was a sudden banging on the trapdoor. Six, Max and Jem huddled behind Miguel. "What is it?" asked Six, her eyes nearly falling from her head. "Shh," said Jax. "It might just be the storm." But the noise returned and we realised that someone was shouting as well. Jax held up her staff and said some strange words. "Move back," she said, "in case there's danger." We all stood hard against the back of the bunker. Miguel and Jax slowly lifted the trapdoor, but the blizzard was so intense that it slammed shut straight away. But then someone opened it up from the outside and a great pile of snow blasted down into the bunker. "Quick!" shouted Jax. "Shut the trapdoor." "No!" shouted a voice. "Let me in." Someone fell down through the hole, and when I saw the shock of green hair, I realised that it was Invictus. Miguel pulled the door shut as soon as he could. Jax resealed the door, but the freezing snow stole all the heat from our bunker, and before long we were shivering and our teeth were chattering. "All right for some," sneered Invictus. "Just leave me outside to perish." "Where have you been?" asked Jax. "I left a magical guide outside, but it was too dangerous for us to wait. Anyway, why did you take so long to get here?" Jax looked cross. "I don't know," said Invictus. "Yes, you do," said Miguel. "You followed me, didn't you?" "You?" scoffed Invictus. "Who are you?" Miguel shook his head. "I'm a younger version of the older half an angel who'd like to give you a piece of his mind," said Miguel. "Oh," said Invictus. "Sorry." "Sorry? You'd want to be sorry," said Miguel. "You were told to follow Jax, but I'm guessing that you snuck off and followed me when I scooted around the side of the time storm." Invictus looked embarrassed. "I wasn't going to go with that lot," he said. "I thought you'd have the best ideas." Miguel shook his head. "Who was in charge of the mission?" he asked. Invictus shrugged. "I was," said Jax. "In future, follow whoever's in charge. Got it?" "He didn't follow you," said Invictus, pointing at Miguel. Jax stared at Invictus. He had the common sense to hang down his head, but I could see that he wasn't sorry. "Help me clean up this snow," snapped Jax. "I'm the one who's been out there freezing," said Invictus. Miguel said nothing, but started bucketing the snow into the sink to flush it away. I could see that he was furious, so I pitched in to help. So did Escher and Solo. Finally, Invictus helped as well. "Don't want the little ones to die of the cold," he said. Jax frowned. "Neither do we." Sky and Minnow made mittens and more blankets for Jem, Max and Six, and Minnow even made Invictus a hat and a big green scarf to go with his hair. "Thanks," he mumbled, clearly a bit embarrassed. "There might be other rooms," said Sky, feeling along the walls of the bunker, looking for secret doors. "What about going down?" asked Frank. "Of course," said Jax, looking happier. I could tell that she felt sorry for snapping at Invictus. Even though he'd behaved badly, everyone at Marescimar prided themselves on being decent and fair to everyone. We all started lifting up mats, looking for a trapdoor. Invictus and Miguel focused on putting the last of the snow down the sink. Soon there was only a single wet patch, and the room started to warm up again. "Good job," said Miguel, patting Invictus on the back. "No worries," said Invictus. "Apologies for not sticking to the plan." Miguel shook his head. "The sad thing is, it would have been you, not any of us, out there dead in the snow." Invictus frowned and kept working in silence. In the meantime, Six and Jemima found a trapdoor in the shape of a whale. "My great-great-grandparents loved whales," said Jax. "Now this should be good."